Hello, everyone. You are welcome to today's live session. So, with me here is Gloria, and we just want to take a quick look at some of the headlines making wave on the social media. Like the post you can see there on the screen, it's talking about the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress that they've rejected Bola Tinubu's 500 billion naira palliative. So you find out that so many Nigerians are not happy with this palliative of a thing. They are saying that there should be increase of salaries, as in 300% increase of salaries is their own demand. So let's just look at this topic. Do you think that this palliative is actually what the Nigerian people need at this time? Is it a good move? Is it the best way to like alleviate some of the hard times that the Nigerian people are going through? So let me allow Gloria to share her thoughts.
Thank you very much. For me, I feel this palliative is not what Nigerians need at the moment. It's not what we need at the moment. Okay, when we look into the 500 billion naira palliative, you see that he's saying that from it, they are going to give 12 million Nigerians 8,000 naira for 6 months. 8,000 naira for 6 months. Looking into this, you find out that there is no way this can work. There's no way with the system and structure we have in Nigeria. It's not possible to adequately distribute this 8,000 naira to poor homes in that 6 months and you do it effectively. It's not going to be possible. Just take a look at
Oh, I'm
during.
sorry, I think Gloria is having a technical at the moment. Her internet is disrupting.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you very much. Okay, I was saying that it's not going to be possible to effectively share the 8,000 naira for 6 months to 12 million Nigerians that he said he's going to be giving from this 500 billion naira. This is because we've seen before now that, let me just say, use the case of 2020 COVID-19 palliative. Palliative was actually given to Nigerians in almost all the 36 states. But we saw that almost all the states, they didn't bring out this palliative to share to poor people. They didn't bring out this palliative to give to Nigerians who really needed them. They left it in the store until during the NSAS protest, when people started breaking into those warehouses and then taking out the palliatives and then sharing to Nigerians that needed them. So that's the same thing that is going to happen with this 8,000 naira. I believe it's not going to go to the needed people. It's not going to go to the right people. So the best thing at this point in time is not this palliative. You remove fuel subsidy. The fuel price now is very high. And then you said from the fuel subsidy, you have been able. I believe there are many things to do for Nigerians, from building good roads to giving us good schools, to giving us good hospitals, to giving us access to, let me say, good and clean water. There are many persons that stay in rural areas, they don't have access to clean water, and this affects their health. So there's many things that this administration is meant to do for us. Instead of just giving us palliative, from that 8,000 naira, nobody can start a very good business with that. So it's not going to in any way. If you want to maybe bring a scheme to help small businesses, to help Nigerians have good businesses, that would be beautiful. But just giving people 8,000 naira casually that cannot even buy good foodstuff in the market now in Nigeria, I don't see it as a good development. And what the NLC is actually doing now is the right thing, to reject this particular offer by this current administration.
Honestly, this cannot really help Nigerians in any way. 8,000 naira. What can that even afford in today's Nigeria? It can't help us. We really want these people to learn how to channel the little resources that Nigeria has at this moment. They should channel it properly. We shouldn't just be wasting money. They want to start handing out again. This is one of the things we saw during Buhari's administration. Every
Yeah.
time the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs should be there handing out cash. And at the end of the day, they still didn't end the poverty in northern Nigeria, because we saw them sharing mostly in the north, as in many people from the south didn't even benefit from, all those handouts. But
Yeah.
still, poverty is still, very, very much, more in the north than in other parts of the country. So for me, I think this is not just the way to go. This is not the way to go. And one of the problems that Nigeria as a country is facing is that we don't really have leaders that bring out time to think, as in being
That's
creative. You think before you take steps. People just come up with some regulations and some decisions, and they don't even want to know where is it going to land Nigeria. You come out, you want to start handing out 8,000 naira every month to every okay, just 12 million families will be benefiting from
yeah.
that. How is it going to alleviate the poverty that Nigerians are experiencing today? I don't think that's really the best way to go. Instead, just like you've said, they should look at our hospitals, they should look at our schools, they should ensure that, they work or equip our hospitals. Even some of our doctors are leaving Nigeria because of the poor salary they are earning. Most times they go on strike. Why not use that money to meet some of their demands so as to retain them in the country? Or look at ASU that always go on strike. Why not
Right.
try to use this money to even say, ASU, okay, I'm giving you this money. Ensure that strike never happen in Nigeria again. No matter what your demand is, I'm going to meet it. But at the moment, let me give you this 500 billion naira. If they should give us this money, honestly, I don't think we'll ever have anything like ASU strike again in Nigeria. And that way people will go in to study a 4-year course, they will come out after 4 years, and people will gain employment. Or they might even want to like give small businesses this money so that they can, use it to revive their businesses so as to also employ other Nigerians. So I don't really think this idea of giving people just 8,000 naira is anything to, to even talk about, because it won't help the people at the moment. It won't really help us at all.
At
So
all.
yeah,
And
that's
something another thing there is that we are sure that they have not put any system in place to ensure that this money
they
is
account
spent
for it
well.
properly.
They have
Mm-hmm.
not put any measure. So it's just going to be like you are bringing out the national cake that is meant to go to everybody, but some particular set of people are the only ones that will benefit from it. So this 500 billion naira and the ones that is meant to be allocated to the poor people in Nigeria will actually be going to the pocket of politicians, pocket of lawmakers, and all of those. So I don't see it as a welcome idea or as a good development at all. It's not going to in any way help Nigeria or help alleviate the poverty that Nigeria is currently in at all.
And also, that the APC as a party, they always like to put their party ahead of, the people. The interest of their party is more important to them than, trying to render services to the Nigerian people. For me, I think this is also a strategy to arrest the minds of poor Nigerians. You can imagine them handing over 8,000 to poor people, as in those of them that are very, very poor, this
True.
8,000 every month. They will be happy. They will like, oh, it has never happened. They'll be very happy, so that if at all we are to have anything like a rerun or a fresh election, they will want to like lure these people to vote for them. For me, I think this is just a strategy. It's just a strategy. And like you can see that the current government is trying to like buy over people from different political party. They are calling on the governors, both the old governors since 1999 and even the current
Yeah.
governors. They are like, it's good to like extend that hand of fellowship, but let it be that you are doing it for the interest of Nigeria. Let it not be for the interest of your party, your political party, because you are looking for a way to hold on to power, or you are looking for a way to, if at all anything happens and the judiciary allows you, you want to come back again in 2027 and all that. Because I know that these people, they like to put strategies that will favor them, not the people at all. So when you look at it, you just know that they are working for themselves, because handing out all this money has never helped Nigeria. Remember, even when Vice President Osibanjo was the one handing out, do they call it trader money or something like that? That people were
Uh,
calling it. Yeah, he was the one. Nigerians saw him as somebody that could be very sincere. He was the one handing out that money. But how did it help Nigerians? Nigeria keeps sliding, into more poverty. People keep getting poorer by the day. So I don't think whosoever is advising this government, please don't mislead this government. This is not the kind of solution that we need at the moment. We want steps that will really affect, that people will feel the results. You will feel it, that really we have a government in place, not a government that is using the situations of Nigerians to play politics. So, like you
sure.
can see on the screen, that the Labour Party and ATIKU, both of them have slammed the National Assembly for speedy approval of Tinubu's loan, the loan for this palliative. They are like, why approve it so fast? So fast when we have other concerns. Look at the insecurity in the country today, as in killings everywhere since after the election. Before the election, it was like this the bandits, they went and just like they were just silent. Let me just use that language, that they were silent. But immediately after the election, they came out and they've been killing since this government took over. I have not really seen the current president come out and give a standing order that they should go after these people. I don't know. I don't really know how they feel. Sometimes you come on the social media, you see dead bodies. I don't know how they feel, especially those of them in the National Assembly. How do they even feel seeing all these things happening in Nigeria? And their own interest is just on getting the money, and let's start sharing it to the people. So I think it was really a speedy approval. It was a speedy approval. And we don't want to see what we saw during the Buhari's administration, when we had Lawa as the Senate president, and people kept calling him a rubber stamp Senate president, because they were just doing everything Buhari asked them, not minding if it was to the benefits of Nigeria or if it was to their own benefits. They just kept approving all the borrowings that Buhari wanted. And at the end of the day, our debt keep increasing by the day. So we don't really want that kind of leadership in the current Nigeria. We want a leadership that has the people at heart. You really want to serve Nigerians and give them your best. So that's what we are just looking forward to. Laura, let me hear your take on this speedy approval of Tinubu's 500 billion palliative request.
For me, I feel it's very speedy too. I support what Labour Party and Atiku is saying. It's actually very, very fast. Something came to the table on Wednesday, and this is actually something that is of importance. And 500 billion naira is at stake. And then the next day, in the morning, it's already everywhere that you have approved it. There are some bills that I know are with them, maybe the one that will be of benefit to our educational sector and everything, and it will linger for years, for months. They will still be trying to see if they can sign it. But this one that will not even in any way help Nigerians and help our economy, they have already signed it within 24 hours. So it was too fast. It was really fast. So I believe what they are saying is very true. It was really fast, because this particular 500,000 billion naira palliative, I see it as just trying to spend money on something that might at the end of the day not make sense. That will at the end of the day not make sense. This money is going to go out there. I know that them, they are going to benefit from the money. So that's one of the major reasons why it was fast, so that everybody will just eat their own part of the money. And then to a very large extent, they are going to just give the little to some Nigerians that they can be able to give to, so that it will look as though of a truth Nigerians actually benefited from it. But I believe in me, the government of the day, and then these are our lawmakers, they are going to be the ones to benefit more from this 500 billion naira palliative. So that's one of the major reasons why they actually hastened it and did it so fast so that they will start benefiting from it.
So let's take some of the reactions. This person said they increased the price of petrol, raised their salaries above 100%, 500 billion palliative on the way, but they want to give the poor 8K, that's just 8,000. In all of this, Peter Obi is still your problem. One, they shine your eyes. These people don't care about your multidimensional poverty. So honestly, I don't even think they have the interest of the masses at heart. But that's just what we are asking them to do. They should always consider the people. They should consider the people. But I'm so happy, looking at how this election went. Honestly, I think our politicians have to start thinking twice, because most of them that are there now, if they don't work for the people will end up not voting for them again in the next election. So it's time for them to know that if you are not working, you are just killing your own political career. If you go there just to sit down and sleep, and you allow any bill that comes, to be passed without checking if it's in the interest of the people, you just allow anything to go. You don't make contributions. You don't come up with your own bills that will favor your people. You don't contribute, for the prosperity of Nigeria. You find out that the people will vote you out. So I think it's good that Nigerians are waking up, honestly. Gloria, let me also allow you comment on this reaction.
Okay, on this, I believe this administration, they should just go back to the drawing board and then realign what they are doing. We know what Nigerians went through in the
Hmm, we lost
we know what
network.
Nigerians went through in the hand of Buhari and his administration. It was not easy for many. It was not easy for many Nigerians. So just starting your administration and the first day, that's when you were sworn in, that's for Tinubu, and you made the announcement that you are removing fuel subsidy. The first 1 week, it was not easy on Nigerians, because you can even have the little money you have, you go to fuel stations, you're not able to buy fuel, you're not able to go to work. Some persons even had to start trekking. Some persons that even the salary they are receiving is small, they cannot even use it for transportation. It was difficult at that particular point in time. And then people are going through this hardship that you inflicted on them. And then you brought this palliative now, but we are sure and we know that this 8,000 naira is not going to get to these people that you made poor. Because we are saying poor Nigerians. It's the economy that is making Nigerians poor. And the way our government of the day is just making things, when you go to the market, everything is expensive. Everything is expensive. You buy today, tomorrow you go back to buy. You cannot see that same thing at the same price. There will be a serious change, and you begin to wonder, where are we going to? So at this point in time, I believe this administration should go back to the drawing board and plan the best way to bring Nigerians out of this current poverty that we are in. This 8,000 naira is not going to in any way solve the problem. It's not going to just give. If for example you give somebody 8,000 naira, before 2 days the person has spent it and is waiting for another time. And there's another angle to this that just came to my mind too, is the fact that scammers too are going to rely on this to actually dupe people. In Nigeria here, there are times where even when Buhari was on seat, and when they were sharing one of these trader money, like you mentioned, then they will send you some XMS and say you are eligible to get the so amounts from the federal government. And for some people who are not actually knowledgeable about what scammers do, they even go to the extent of sending these scammers their OTP, sending them details about them and their bank accounts, and they just remove the little money they have. So this is also going to, in a very large way,
Mhm.
open Nigerians to scammers.
Yes.
It's going to,
Hmm.
because you're going to receive a call now and they say, come and take your 8,000 naira, send us your OTP. And people that really need the money, people that are poor, people that are broke, they will send their OTP, and that's how money will keep leaving their accounts. So this is
Hmm.
is not a welcome development at all. It's not a welcome
Hmm.
development. It's something they
I
should go
think this
back
point is
and
very important. Please, Nigerians, be aware of this in case if the palliative is still going to be
go.
something that they want to execute. Please take note of these scammers. Let them not take the little that is left in your bank account. So we
True.
also want to look at this. This person says, what is the brain behind all this rubbish that Tinubu is doing? You saved 400 billion from subsidy removal, and you want to go and borrow 500 billion for palliative. Is this not madness? Why not allow people to continue buying fuel the way it was? Tinubu, Tinubu and APC, let me leave that section. So, but what he's trying to say, the only thing that caught my attention here is where he said they saved 400 billion and they want to borrow 500 billion. So when this administration came in, there was a time, I think after a week or two, they told us that they've they've saved 400 billion from the from the subsidy that we used to have. So you've saved that amount and now you are borrowing 500 billion. So Nigerians are saying, why not take the 400 that you saved from subsidy and solve this problem or this challenge that is before you? Why go to borrow again? We know that Buhari borrowed so much that we don't even know how many years it's going to take Nigeria as a country to pay off those debts. And then this administration coming up again to borrow, not even for, will I say, reasonable ground. As in, there's nothing that is very important that they've explained, as in the reason for this borrowing. I can't really see any good ground for them to borrow. So if really they want to borrow, I think they should borrow for reasonable cost. Like Peter Obi will always say, you don't borrow for consumption. You
Yes.
borrow to invest, you borrow to, it's like a seed. You sow it and you see it germinate and grow and start yielding. But for you to go and borrow, that's just what he's saying. Because if they borrow this money now just to share it, it's not the right way to borrow. You borrow to invest, you borrow for business reasons, not just for consumption. Because we've been borrowing even to pay salaries and all those things. And that's why, Nigeria keep going, getting poorer as a country. Or if we borrow to like give money to small businesses so that they can employ people, or you borrow to fix our hospitals, equip our hospitals so that Nigerians will not have to go to India to go and get treated or go to South Africa for one medical reason or the other. Or you borrow to fix our schools so that our students won't be leaving Nigeria. Do you know how much Nigerians pay outside the country? So the little we have in Nigeria, we exchange it to dollar and then use it to develop other countries. If our universities are fixed, ASU is not going on strike. You can imagine giving ASU this 500 billion naira. I tell you, ASU will not want to go on strike. It will go a long way to like meet their demand. So Nigerians will not have to leave the country. But when you start using it to start giving people 8,000 naira, look at what happened during Buhari's time. They were handing out money, but the effect was not being felt in Nigeria. The GDP was not growing. Nothing was happening in Nigeria, while Buhari, the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, kept every time you see them handing out money, handing out cash. And today, they can't even account for all those handouts that they gave. So we don't really want a repetition of all those things that happened during the last administration. And that's why Nigerians, we really need to wake up. Anytime there is an election, let's vote for people that can be creative, people that, they still have that cognitive strength to come up with ideas. Because what is happening now, there's no creativity in this thing now. Go and borrow money and share it to people. There is no creativity in it. And this is just the least expectation of Nigerians from any of our political leaders at this time that we are in.
Sure.
Let me have your take, Gloria.
Sure. What you just said is just the truth. And another thing that I'm actually wondering is the fact that you have 400 billion naira from subsidy removal. You can also use that 400 billion to do something, to invest, or to even use it for the palliative if you want to go that way. Why will you now go and borrow another 500 billion when you the problem now we are facing currently is because of the subsidy removal? And then you've gotten 400 billion as you claimed. You can use it to work. Why get a fresh debt? I don't know. It's just like Nigerian government. Most of our leaders, they just love these debts. Let it be that
Borrowing.
they're just
Hmm.
collecting and accumulating the debt of the nation, and
Hmm.
it's not in any way painting us good in international communities. It is not.
Honestly.
So I believe that he can actually use that 400 billion naira, put it into good use. You can use some of it for the palliative and then use some of it to actually grow the economy. If this money, for example, now is used to set up young graduates, young people outside in this Nigeria that needs
Or
job, maybe
even those that have first class, like Peter Obi did in
yes,
Anambra State, at a time it was like anybody that has first class should come and collect 1 million naira. You can imagine as at then, Peter Obi was giving 1 million naira to first class graduates. So assuming, let's just say that this current government now comes up and say, okay, if you got first class or second class, come, okay, those that had first class should come and take 1 million naira, and those that have second class should take like 500,000 naira. Support yourself in whatever you want to do, so that tomorrow you'll be the one employing others. I think these are some of the things that this government should be considering instead of thinking of handing out money to people. How are they going to do it? Most people living in rural areas, they don't even have bank accounts. Some of them have never opened an account for the first time. So we don't really want to see a repetition of what happened during Buhari's time. As in, Buhari was just doing,
true.
APC was just, they were just doing it without trying to seek for advice. They knew everything, and at the end of the day, look at where Nigeria is today. Some people will tell you that Buhari's administration took Nigeria 100 years backward. Some people will say 50 years backward, just because of some of these mistakes that they made, and that is what they are still bringing it again. But like we always say, that the judiciary, Nigerians are just waiting for them to look into our petitions, and we are
True.
happy that they've submitted their report. I mean, the respondents, they've submitted their report, I think, today. So we are
Wow.
hoping that the judiciary will do the right thing. Let them do the right thing. Don't forget that we heard that the judiciary will be getting, I think, 35 billion naira from this palliative, from this loan.
Yes.
So people have been saying, is it a way to bribe them? Is it that they are trying to, like, get the judges on their side or what? So we don't really know what is going on in Nigeria, but we just hope that they should put the interests of Nigerians first. So Gloria, let me know what you have to say before we conclude. We are about to round up.
That's the thing. That's actually the prayer of every Nigerian, that God should actually help us and allow the judiciary to do the right thing. Because at this point in time, for most of the people that actually maybe genuinely voted for this administration, their expectations are actually being dashed. And then most persons that did not vote for the administration, for example, we had this mindset that okay, let's see what he can do, at least for this period that they are still here. Maybe they will just do something different that will be like okay, they can try and all of that. But they are actually going off entirely, and it's not in any way impressing Nigerians. So we believe that the court is going to do the right thing, and then that Peter Obi is going to, at the end of the day, get back his mandate, and then his visions and his plans for Nigerians is going to come to pass. So that's our prayer. And then talking about the 35 billion naira that he's assigning to the judiciary, it's just like they're submitting their reply and then also sending package like to the judiciary. So that's
What a coincidence. Both are just happening almost at the same time.
happening the same time. And maybe that's one of the reasons why the how the lawmakers were able to actually approve
You know,
He's
they have their own share too. You know, they have their own share.
they have their own share. So I just believe that what they are doing, they actually know what they are doing. But our prayers still remain that the judiciary would do the right thing, and then the mandate will be given back to the right owner. That's
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, you just nailed it. Let the mandate be given back to us. So, guys, we'll be wrapping it up here. We want to say a big thank you to those of you that joined us. Please don't forget we'll be live here again tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video so that YouTube can share it further. And let's meet here again tomorrow. Thank you and God bless you. Bye. Gloria, thank you for your time and your contribution. Good night.
Good night. Bye.